Hey everybody! Welcome to our channel Living in Richmond, Virginia, where we show you exactly what it's like to live, work, eat, and play right here in our VA.
In this video, we're going to compare and contrast the Short Pump and Midlothian areas, which we feel are the top two suburbs around Richmond.
We have this conversation so many times with our relocation clients, and lots of them end up cross-shopping between these two areas.
We're going to explain to you why we think these are the top two,
tell you about their similarities and their differences,
and show you what you can expect to find on the real estate side of things for each area.
If this is your first time to our channel, welcome. I'm Sarah Jefferson.
And I'm Taylor Jefferson, and we own and operate Jefferson Grove Real Estate.
We are your Richmond relocation experts, and no exaggeration, have helped hundreds of families from all over the world relocate to Richmond.
If you're thinking about doing the same, here are 3 things that you need to do. The first is to download our free Richmond Relocation Guide. It's full of useful information all about Richmond and the surrounding areas.
The second thing to do is to visit our YouTube homepage and look at our playlist that says Start Here, and at a minimum, give the first 2 videos a watch. After doing so, you will have a much better idea of where you might want to live and where you will find homes matching your search criteria.
The third thing to do is to explore our other playlist with videos that focus on the areas that you identified as potential good fits from the second step. This will greatly speed up your knowledge of Richmond and the surrounding counties without wasting any time.
Now, with all that said, let's compare and contrast Short Pump versus Midlothian.
So let's start with the basics of where these areas are. Short Pump is located north of the James River in western Henrico County. Technically, true Short Pump is the area strictly south of West Broad Street here, because immediately north of Broad Street, that is technically the Glen Allen area.
You could lump the true Short Pump areas and the western Glen Allen suburbs together and call it Short Pump, and you wouldn't be wrong.
But there are very large differences in the real estate offerings between the areas north of Broad Street and Glen Allen and south of Broad Street and Short Pump proper. So for this video, we're going to stick to the 2 zip codes for Short Pump, 23233 and 23238, focusing on the areas south of Broad, east of Tuckahoe Creek, north of Patterson, and west of Pemberton Road.
If you have been watching our videos for any length of time, you will know we are very pro Short Pump, and we think it is the best suburb around Richmond. But we feel also that Midlothian is a super close second place, and the vast majority of our relocation clients end up choosing an area south of the river to purchase within.
So Midlothian is located south of the James River and relatively follows Highway 288 as its western border, but there are some exceptions. Midlothian is much larger than the Short Pump area and encompasses a lot more geography.
As such, there are 3 zip codes within Midlothian. To the north, you have zip code 23113, which is predominantly the Robius Road corridor residential areas running south of the James River and north of Midlothian Turnpike. 23114 is the middle part of Midlothian that runs south of Midlothian Turnpike and north of Highway 76.
23112 is a very interesting zip code, which is predominantly south of Highway 76, but has a few outlier areas that border the northwest section of Middle Midlothian, and include some outlier neighborhoods that are very expensive compared to the rest of 23112. 23112 includes many of the starter home neighborhoods in southern Midlothian, and the majority of the real estate there is much cheaper compared to the areas further north. For the purpose of this video, we're going to stick to what I call the northern Midlothian area, which again will be the parts north of Highway 76.
We will definitely do a video going over the southern Midlothian areas in the future, but here is why I am breaking Midlothian up like this for this video.
The main reason we rank Short Pump the #1 suburb is due to the amazing commercial amenities located along Broad Street. In Midlothian, the major commercial bubble is located along Midlothian Turnpike, so we want to try to focus on the more brand name areas of each to try to make it an apples to apples comparison, and northern Midlothian is the most similar experience to Short Pump.
Also, keep in mind that both Short Pump and Midlothian also have other commercial areas and shopping centers scattered all around, but the major arteries are Broad Street and Midlothian Turnpike respectively. In Short Pump's commercial bubble along Broad Street, you can find a ton of excellent restaurants and perfect date night spots, as well as excellent shopping at the Short Pump Mall and all of the strip malls located around the perimeter. There's also a bunch of different parks located nearby and a ton of grocery store options. Seriously, there are so many. To the west near Highway 288, there's a Wegmans, and to the east, there's a Whole Foods. In between, there is a large Kroger shopping center, a Publix shopping center, a Trader Joe's, and so many more. The things that you need for daily living are never more than 5 to 6 minutes away.
Midlothian has a ton of what Short Pump has, including some of the same excellent restaurants. The way that it seems to go here in RVA is that when a new restaurant first opens up, it usually starts in the city, Short Pump, or Midlothian. Then, once it's successful enough, it opens a second location in one of the other two, and eventually another location in the third. For instance, both Mellow Mushroom and Wooden Iron followed that pattern.
Midlothian also has its own large mall, the Chesterfield Town Center, but undoubtedly Short Pump Town Center is nicer. To the west of Midlothian's commercial bubble is a really nice mixed-use development, Westchester Commons, which has over a dozen restaurants, a Target, a movie theater, a Gold's Gym, and a lot more. The eastern edge of the Midlothian commercial bubble is right by the Chesterfield Town Center, where there is also a Costco, Lowe's, and a Home Depot, and a ton of stuff in between.
Now, the reason we rank Midlothian's commercial bubble second to Short Pump's is because Midlothian Turnpike isn't as commercially dense as Short Pump is. Broad Street and Short Pump between the Highway 64 exit and the Highway 288 exit is a little over 3 miles in length, whereas the Midlothian Turnpike commercial bubble from Westchester Commons to the Chesterfield Town Center is about 5.5 miles in length. I highly recommend watching our tour of Short Pump and our tour of Midlothian videos to give you more information about each of these areas.
There are a few other similarities between the two. Both have excellent and highly rated schools. Both have everything you could need or want for activities of daily living, and both deliver safe, clean, family-friendly neighborhoods. Before jumping into the real estate offerings in each area, here is one last thing you should know, and that is about the traffic.
Locals complain that traffic in Short Pump is bad, but I think they're wrong. There are other areas with worse congestion, and in our experience, the traffic in Short Pump flows very well along Broad Street. The worst of it is where Highway 64 drops you off westbound on Broad. That highway exit puts you on Broad immediately in front of a stoplight, followed by a few more. Those first few stoplights are the worst offenders and will back up during the weekends around lunch and rush hour in the evening. But again, it really isn't that bad.
Now, within Midlothian, the worst of the traffic is traveling northbound along Highway 288 during morning rush hour or traveling back home southbound in the evenings. Between 8 and 9:30 a.m., Highway 288 northbound is a slow-moving parking lot starting near the Midlothian Turnpike exit and not really letting off until the Patterson Avenue exit. And between 4:30 and 6:30 p.m., southbound 288 is the same until you get to the Robius Road exit.
So, if you're thinking about living in Midlothian but have to drive to an office for work, be sure to check if Highway 288 is the route that you'll have to take, and check the time of day that you'll be traveling along it. If you're outside of those times, you'll be fine, but if not, you'll be thankful that I warned you.
Searching back over the past 365 days of single-family home sales, here are the stats for each area. I will start first with Short Pump. Within the highlighted map area, there were a total of 363 sales ranging in price from $300,000 to $2 million. The median price point was $540,000 and the average price was $588,000.
The average home was a 4-bed, 2.5-bath home with just under 2,600 square feet, and it was built in 1986. The size of the homes and the average year built of the home stand out compared to the northern Midlothian area, which was on average a decade newer and 22% larger.
In the highlighted northern Midlothian areas, there were far more sales in the past year, sitting just below 500. The price range was from $203,000 to $2.2 million. The median price is much higher than in Short Pump, sitting at $675,000, with an even higher average sold price of $711,000.
The average home was a little under 3,200 square feet in size, with 4 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms, and a year built of 1996, which again is a decade newer than Short Pump. The average price per square foot was a little lower than Short Pump, but not by much, sitting at $224 per square foot. Now, if I had included the southern Midlothian areas, those averages would drop because for the most part in southern Midlothian, the homes are smaller and cheaper on average.
Now, this doesn't really tell the full story of comparing and contrasting. Let's pretend I was cross-shopping and my budget was $650,000 or less. Doing the exact same search but with a max price of $650,000, here are the results it yields. In Short Pump, only 119 out of the 363 total sales fit that criteria, and in Midlothian, only 90 out of the 494 total sales matched.
Short Pump's average sold price was $501, whereas Northern Midlothian's was $467,000. The average size in Short Pump was 2,275 square feet with a year built of 1984, and it was 2,314 square feet with a year built of 1989 in Midlothian. Average price per square foot in Short Pump was $225 versus $208 in Midlothian.
So, in other words, typically in Midlothian you can find slightly larger and newer homes for less compared to Short Pump.
I would really recommend doing this exercise on your own and scroll through previously sold homes in each area and see what I mean for yourself. The vast majority of our clients love the Short Pump area, but still decide to purchase within Midlothian or even Moseley.
They love the commercial amenities offered within Short Pump, but they also realize they aren't living at the mall or the restaurants. They are living inside of their home. And while it's nice to have the excellent nearby amenities, Midlothian has really nice stuff and similar or nicer homes for less.
Again, I would use caution though living in Midlothian if you have to travel north on a daily basis just due to the traffic on Highway 288. But if you work remotely, Midlothian is an excellent place to choose.
We have made a ton of videos about each area, so I highly recommend to look at our 2 playlists for both Midlothian and Short Pump to learn more about the areas and the different neighborhoods within them.
When watching, be sure to check how long ago that video was made because it will affect how accurate the pricing information in it is. But you will still get to see what the neighborhood feel is and learn about its location and pros and cons.
If you have any questions about any particular neighborhoods of interest in any of those areas, or if you're thinking about relocating to Richmond, be sure to hit us up.
We have the knowledge and expertise to make your move as stress-free and easy as possible.
As always, thank you so much for your support of our channel and our business. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.